Hey, good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending on where you're at. So good to see everybody. Welcome to the Hyde Park Ninja stream. And as you can see, we've got the wonderful and great Shaktilyn on with us today, filling in for KO. He's down in the warm city of Florida, or actually the warm state of Florida. Got to get my geography straight this morning. And having some fun at a training there and playing some jiu-jitsu. So excited to have Shak on. How you doing, Shak?
I'm doing really great, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's
Hi,
always a
everyone.
pleasure. So good to see you on. We got Caesar in the house, Laban. How you guys doing? Hope everybody's well today. Yeah, man, right before we got on stream, my mouse ran out of power. It happens like once every 2 months, and I haven't used a wire mouse in forever, and this cord is driving me absolutely crazy. So I'm sure I'll yank something off my desk in a second here. So be prepared for some kind of technical craziness. So I think we have, let me see, we got, I think KO is actually, I think I just saw him pop on. He's in training right now. Let me see if I can get him on here somehow. Switch over here. KO, how you doing?
Hey guys, can you guys hear me all right?
Hey.
Yeah, I could barely see you from all that sunshine. How's the
Oh,
weather?
there we go.
That looks great.
It's actually kind of cool here in Florida. I was expecting, I didn't bring a jacket, so I might have to go pick one up. Actually, it's a little cold.
Man. So how's the, have you guys started any training yet? I know you guys were helping with the setup down there in Cocoa Beach and getting set up. How did that go?
I went great, and yeah, I just wanted to pop on for a quick minute. Actually, I just jumped out of training. I had to like catch my breath before getting on stream. I just had like a bunch of people trying to choke me and armbar me and all kinds of stuff. So, but it was a blast. How are you doing, Shaq? It's good to see you.
Good to see you, KO. I'm great, thank you.
Awesome.
Um,
Thanks for filling in. I'm sure everybody's happier to see you on there today.
oh, I doubt that, but yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
How are
Awesome.
the hips holding up down there?
Man, I got a brand new hip, and it's like it feels better than ever. So I got to be careful, make sure it doesn't get injured or something like that. But I was gonna bring you guys in there and let you see the jiu-jitsu and stuff, but it's pretty noisy and chaotic and
Is it?
pretty busy. So I'll take some pictures. I'll share them in the Discord.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like they have a great
Awesome.
turnout. I'm sad I'm not there. This is one of the, I think the only other year I ever missed was when I had the double hip replacement. So I'm sad to not be there with you guys, but hope everybody has fun, stay safe, and bring back some good jiu-jitsu memories with the team.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we definitely miss you guys too. So, but yeah, you guys have a great stream, and there's some cool, crazy, fun stuff with Upland going on. So I'm sure you guys got plenty to talk about.
Oh yeah, so much going on. So, well, have a great day down there, and tell Jeff Curran and all the guys I said hello, and we will see him at the next one for sure.
All right,
Don't
guys.
let them
See you,
choke you
Shaq.
out. Yeah, we'll see you, KO.
All right. See you. See you. Bye, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
All right, that was cool. I wasn't sure if we were going to get them on. They had a session start at like noon, and I figured they would be pretty deep into it by now. But so hopefully I think they probably have about a half hour left, and they'll get out and get some lunch, maybe revive the body, get rehydrated and stuff. So
So, what
uh,
is the event? What are they doing? Like,
So
what
we
is
do
it?
a big jiu-jitsu gathering with schools from all over the place, and people come in to wherever we have it in Florida. This year it happens to be in Cocoa Beach. And, sometimes it's been in Daytona, Tampa, and it just kind of moves around from year to year based on availability of facilities. And, we could have 100, 200 people come, and we just do jiu-jitsu training. And there's a lot of, specialists that come in and train us as well. So it's a really good event to get together with so many different friends we have all over the world and experience jujitsu together and have fun, and then get to go out and do stuff. It sounds like the weather's a little bit cold down there right now, but a lot of times we get to go down to the beach. We do a nice beach picture with everybody, and then experience the beach and just have fun and socialize and relax a little bit. So it's a good time away from training, at our own academies. And as instructors, it gets us out to do our own thing and have a little bit of fun too. We teach so much, so it's good to have those times that we can get out like that through the year. So
Well, that sounds awesome.
I think this is,
Yeah.
I believe it's the ninth year they've been doing it. It's called the Big Frog Retreat. So it's
Oh,
a
cool.
really cool event. So something kind of fun, and you get all ages. There's, women, men, and, all ages. So it's really cool, a great event, all different experience levels, and everybody gets to take back different things to their academies and share with their students too. So it's a big
Okay.
jiu-jitsu community event. So,
That's awesome.
well,
Sounds really
man,
fun.
Upland has been going crazy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, totally
So
crazy.
there has
Awesome.
been so much going on. I don't even know where to start. So I guess the gamification has changed so much. And, I've been into a lot of different Discords, including the Upland chat and stuff. And when they first released it, I think people were going bonkers. That was like it was the end of the world. And when I first looked at the list when everything came out, it looked like this massive list. So my
Yeah.
eyes went wide at first. And then as you start to read that list, it wasn't really too much stuff that we weren't doing day to day as a regular player. So what are your thoughts on the gamification and how they've got that laid out?
Oh, well, I love it. To me, what it looks like is a way, I mean, it, well, where would you begin? It will stimulate the economy. It rewards active players. It's extremely easy to maintain your current level of earnings. For most people, it won't even really cost them anything or take very much time. So it's a win. It's a win for all of us. That's how I see it. And I mean, Upland is a game. And so having the activities of Upland gamified, I think, is a really important piece of the puzzle. And yeah, I love it. And I know I saw a lot of people freaking out. But I think maybe they just didn't realize that it could be accomplished so easily. And it's true that to go through the entire list is going to take some epochs, and it's going to take a little bit more effort and planning and strategy. But that's okay. I mean, if you don't do it, you just maintain your earnings.
Right.
If you do it, you get a little boost to your earnings. And most of us are doing most of those things anyway. At least, well, I can't say most of us, but I and the people that I tend to associate with are doing those things anyway. And that's for the boost. You don't have to hardly do anything to maintain your current earnings. So I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing too. And it should be based around the game. I got into it because it was a game and it was very similar to Monopoly. And I think when I got in, the only thing you could do was buy and sell property. You buy for cheaper and flip it. And, when you were doing the mintings of the new cities, you're hoping you get a collection to really make a boost on that income or that earning. And there wasn't really a lot going on. That's all there was. And I was excited about that. I was earning yield. And the game can't survive on that. At some point, the company Upland, for us to be successful, they have to be successful too. So it
Yeah.
only makes sense from like a business standpoint. And I think a lot of people don't look at it that way. And it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not like
Right. Right.
just do a small little part and then, you're a millionaire overnight. This is going to be something that's going to take a while to build over time. And the people that are in it for the right reasons, I think are going to do really well. And also the people that want to work hard. If they want to work hard, they're gonna be able to do good things, I think. And there's just so much more you can do now. And we were talking about this. Me and you were just talking about this, and I know as a group with some of the people that we network with pretty regularly at Vegas, it kind of came up that eventually you're not going to be able to keep up with all the new things that come out. And this is where we're at right now, because
Yeah.
I do my best to keep up on everything and I can't do it, around everything else that we do. And, there'd be things that I see it come out and I'm like, what the heck is that? And I'll get a hold of one of you guys and say, hey, have you guys seen this? And it seems like all of us kind of dive into different areas, and that's kind of the way it's going to work, and,
Yeah.
dive into the things that, resonate with you, and make them work, make them work, have fun, and build around that. And then there's things that, may not resonate to you. And, those things maybe you just don't take part in. So like today's a prime example. There was a city opening today, right? It might be going on right now. I'm not positive because I didn't dive into it. And it wasn't something that I wasn't interested in doing today. I didn't have the time. I've got too much other stuff going on. And so it's just the way it worked out. Now, did you take part in the city opening, or did it even happen yet? I don't even know.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that it happened. I'm going to assume it happened at 9 a.m. I read the announcement and I was like, oh, Stockton and Trenton for new players. Very cool. This is great. And then I moved on to other things. So, no, I didn't participate. I'm happy it's happening. But like you just said, we can't do everything. I mean, you can try, but I feel the need to be a little bit more focused on certain goals that I choose rather than scattering myself all over the place. But it's great that Upland is doing something for everyone. And they're making sure that new players can come in and find a cheap property to mint in an exciting new city. I mean, Stockton and Trenton, that's very cool.
Hmm.
Um, but they really set the stage last year for huge growth this year. And so we're, I think, really going to just keep seeing Upland ramping up. And they're ready for the influx of new players, and so am I. And it's very, very exciting.
Yeah, so we saw this stuff come out with the gamification, and me and KO did a couple shorter videos, and we came up with, we tried to think about, two of the different players, because I remember being a small player and a new player, and, I didn't have a lot of up picks. I couldn't do a whole lot, and you kind of build up to that. And that, again, is part of the game. No different than like Monopoly. When you start off, you have your small bank, and then you have to build it from there, right? It's kind of the same.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull up, I think I have these here. See, one of the ones we did was on the cheapest ways to boost your earnings. And we had, the easy one, the most obvious is the daily check-in. So I know typically in the morning, I actually set my alarm on my phone to wake me up in the morning. So I don't have an old alarm clock or anything like that. I don't even know if they make those, but my phone serves well for that. And when I wake up in the morning, I have to click the button to turn off my alarm. And then when I'm in there, I just go right to the Upland app and I click on my daily check-in. So that one is so easy. It doesn't cost anything to do. And, if you do the check-ins consecutively for 25 check-ins, actually, you only have to do 7 consecutive. And that's one of, the ways that you can boost your earnings. And then if you do 25 throughout the whole season, you're already set there. So it's really easy to do. And then even with the check-ins, after the 7 days, you get a little bit of spark too. So now that spark you can use to build up
Yeah.
in the game as well. And that's, again, part of the gamification. I think some of the people that we have been playing this game for a while now, we do have the spark, but it's because we put in the time to do that consistently, and we were disciplined about that. And then, some of the things, that could be harder. Again, these things were like the quickest. So visiting 5 cities, depending where you're at, the cost can be different, of course. But we did a breakdown. If you had your Explorer in San Francisco, with the 5 different things that we looked at, you were going to spend about 410 UPIX. Now, there could be some travel back and forth, and I'm sure there's a way to make a loop from different places. So, at the worst, if you had to go from San Fran to one and back, maybe you're doubling, so 810 UPIX total. And that's really over the course of a whole season too. So it's really not too hard to do. It's not like you have to do it in one day, so it's not that bad. So I didn't think that was a lot of UPIX. It's less than 1,000 UPIX. I mean, we give
Mhm.
out between our community, we give out more than that on one stream, whether it's from
Yeah.
us as ninjas or we have some really great people within our community. Caesar just he does giveaways. He gave away a Phantom cart. So I think that's important too. And I like to give that stuff away because it does help some of the newer players to be able to earn. So you can do that easily. You can get onto some of the streams. I know all of us as streamers, we give away different things on the streams. So that's another way, just from your community that we're developing that you could earn or win some UPIX too. So, those are just easy ways. And, the treasure hunts, I know that the treasure hunting has been a little bit of a pain in the butt. I'm a little bit older. I've got fat fingers. So when I'm using the phone, it's a disaster, but I've kind of got it fine tuned and making it work now. But I think I saw somebody post actually, I think in chat here, Jimmy Jester said he can't treasure hunt on my phone. Unless something happened today. I was able to treasure hunt on my phone this morning. When I woke up, I did some of my treasure hunts to try to get some of my loot boxes. So I don't know if he's got a technical issue or not. But I was able to treasure hunt on my phone this morning. I didn't have any issues. So unless there's a bug that happened after I treasure hunted this morning, I'm not positive. So hopefully, Jimmy, you can get that fixed if there's something up there. But like I said, it is harder for a new player if you don't have a lot of UPIX when you're trying to do things like travel and mint properties. And then the racing, so with the racing, if you don't have a car, obviously you can't race. But I know one of the things that I did hear brought up in the roadmap, I think it was when Danny and Edan were talking, is I think they're going to give some cars away for people to be able to trial the racing and do that. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, they're going to provide, like, they're not really cars. They're like, er,
Like
I
wannabe
mean,
cars?
it seems like it's a car, but it's not
Okay.
really an NFT. They won't really own it. They can only use it to race against AI. So what it does is it gives them an immersion, in a sense, into what Upland offers, and it helps them to know if they might be interested in getting into racing. Um, and I don't have a definitive word from Upland on this issue, but I doubt that it counts because it's
Hmm.
not a real car. You can only race against AI. Um,
Oh, okay.
I don't think that it counts, but I don't know for sure.
Well, I guess on a good note, if they have, because I never had a car until I was able to earn enough to get a car. That was part of the gamification. And so I think it's kind of cool that they're even doing that. So they're giving, a car for trial and they're able to at least learn how to race before they actually invest and get in a car. And maybe they don't even like racing, so they don't want to do that and they don't have to spend any money to do that. I know the way
Right.
that I did it, I had to buy my car through UPIX earnings. And also I had to register and wait to be able to get on the list so I could get a car. And I went without a car forever, because if not, you got to buy them on the secondary market. And I wasn't too lucky with my registration draws, so it took a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And so, we got the car, and at first we couldn't even do anything with them. They were just sitting on my
Right.
plot of land. So I thought it was cool. It was sitting in my front yard, but it didn't really, it had no utility, no function. And it
Right.
took a little while and it finally came out. And then we started doing some racing and I got in there and raced a little bit. And that was cool, but it was all AI. We didn't have to do anything, which was kind of good at first because I knew nothing about racing or what I was doing. And then now, fast forward a little bit, and now you can actually control the cars and do different things. There's braking, boosts and
Yeah.
stuff. So it's just the game is just evolving. And as players, you have to evolve, right? Or maybe go play a different game.
Right.
I guess that's just the way games are. So Jimmy Jester has a 2003 BlackBerry phone. Okay, so that
Hmm.
wait, 2003. That was like 21 years ago. How is that thing even functioning?
Right.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
incredible.
I kind of remember when the Blackberries came out. That was a cool little device when it first came out, but I didn't even think any of those existed. Is BlackBerry still around? Or is he joking?
I don't think
Is Jimmy
so.
pulling
I
our
don't
leg
think
here?
so. I think, yeah,
That's
that sounds impossible. I got a BlackBerry way back when, and I traded it back in and got an iPhone because I didn't like it. um, I love the iPhone. Um, I mean, I hope you're not really using a 2003 device, Jimmy.
I think he's just giving us a hard time. I think he's messing with us. I can't imagine that thing would even work. The batteries wouldn't even work anymore or recharge, would they? I'm
Oh,
not
he
sure.
says he updated it to 2013. Still, that is too old.
Okay.
That's too old. That's not going to work, Jimmy.
I have, the phones drive me absolutely crazy because it's like you have to upgrade them all the time because there's something
Yeah,
that's not compatible with new technology and, it
right.
just doesn't work. So yeah, that's kind of a phone thing and the technology company's kind of holding back, because you don't have that new latest, greatest model, I guess. It's just, how it is, unfortunately. But yeah, Caesar brought up a good point too, that people maybe don't have enough hunts to do or I'm sorry, enough upics to do the hunts properly, which, I ran into that too. When I first started treasure hunting, I ran myself out of upics, because I had no idea what I was doing. I had no properties of my own to send to, very
Right.
little. And I think I started my treasure hunting in LA, which LA is huge. If you've ever done
Ooh.
treasure hunting there, it's,
Ee.
oh, it's not good. It's really, really bad. So it's just
Yeah.
too big, too long. And I had a decent amount of properties and it still was no good. So you want to find a good place to treasure hunt. I've always been partial to San Fran, and I had a lot more properties in LA, but San Fran I could have fewer properties, and just because of like the shape and the squareness of San Fran, it
Yeah.
was a lot easier to get around, and I was able to spend a lot less UPIX. So some of that is just, going back to the educating yourself in the game that you're playing, and it definitely, makes it a lot easier. Once I learned how to treasure hunt, it was a lot better. But I got really frustrated when I first started treasure hunting. I got so frustrated with it because I would run out of upics, and my light or my arrow was just turning red, and I was like, oh, I was so close. And I don't think at the time you were able to buy sends, I don't believe, or if we were
No,
able
you
to, I
weren't.
didn't realize we were able to. So what are you going to do, I don't know.
Oh,
So
no, well,
you
it's
just kind
true.
of learn and watch videos, educate yourself in the discords, watch the videos, and it all kind of falls together.
Yeah. For me, I couldn't treasure hunt until I had a nice web. And I'm still like, I have hundreds of properties in San Francisco, which is my treasure hunting web. And I'm still not that good at treasure hunting, but I needed that web in order to really do the hunts. They were very frustrating for me. It took me a long time to learn.
Hmm.
Um, and so, definitely for a new player just starting out, especially if they're not spatially aware, like me, where it's just really confusing, um, it's it's going to take a while to earn the UPIX, to buy the properties, to create the web, and to learn. So, but I often like to compare, with Clash of Clans, right? If you start playing Clash of Clans, you see people with the big fancy bases and their powerful attacks with all of their upgraded troops, and you want to be that guy. But you're not that guy because you just started with your tiny little beginner's hut and you have to
Yep.
work your way up.
Yep.
And Upland is a game. There's no reason why a 14.7% yield should be guaranteed to anyone just because they opened an account. It used to be that way. It's not that way anymore. And Upland always told us that it's not going to stay that way. So it's true. If you're a new player, maybe you can't do everything right away, and maybe you can't get the best yield right away, but you're still making a yield. It's still free money. Um, and you can work your way up toward your goals just like you do in any game.
Yep. 100%. And there's so many different things that we could also do in the game, and that, Upland was very upfront about that. I remember reading about that and listening in on Idan and Dirk talking, And they've always been really upfront about that, that the earnings, might drop. They said it was going to happen. And, but as the gamification came, and now the gamification is here, so that's part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's, again, I believe it's a good thing because it, it induces, it motivates people to be involved and to do things that give back to the economy, whether it's doing sands or treasure hunting or using travel or even buying an ornament from the UGC community. Um, it gets people participating in the game, and it disincentivizes the type of player that just wants to buy properties, close their phone, and go away.
Yeah,
Um, they don't want to reward inactivity,
100%.
you know? So that makes sense to me. That's good.
And for the newer players, my biggest advice, I think, and none of this is financial advice at all, but my as a player, just as the game side of it, my biggest advice would be to connect to community members that are a little bit more experienced than you are, and try to learn from them. And that's the one thing is, I've been able to run into so many people that have helped me in different ways. In Vegas, there were things that I learned about there from other players that I had no idea. And I came back and I was a better player for that. Um, and there's going to be a lot of other gamification stuff. And, even for people that don't necessarily have a car, or maybe they're not able to do treasure hunting for whatever reason, there are alternate options. You can get a frost ornament and put it up for 3 weeks. And, if you don't have a frost ornament, or you can't buy one, or whatever the case is, maybe you have an old ornament that you can trade with somebody. I've always been able to find players that were willing to help me out when I was, getting started. And man, I'll swap an ornament with someone, to let them get that ornament up for 3 weeks to help them out. And I know, we've all done that in the past for each other with, I think with the Halloween ornaments and stuff. I remember getting into the Creedmoor community and I had no idea what the hell I was doing with building properties. And I had actually bought a bunch of ornaments, and so didn't pay attention to what kind of structure I built. And then I went to put my ornament on the structure and it was the wrong ornament for that structure. And I remember reaching out to Shak and saying, Shak, I built a house. That was the good news. But the bad news is I built the wrong structure and I didn't have an ornament. I think it was on like one of the small townhouses because there's two different versions. And the
Yeah.
the ornament I had just didn't work for that one, so we had to do some swapping around of some Halloween ornaments. And it's no different than when you're in your real life neighborhood. I've done that with neighbors of mine. We've swapped different ornaments for like Christmas decorating in the neighborhood. If I had something that worked better with what they had, and vice versa. And it kind of brings that real life feel to it, but within an online community, or a metaverse community in this case. So there's definitely ways to make it work. So if you want to succeed in this game and have fun with it, there's definitely ways to do it. Just surround yourself with the right people. And I think that's a big part of it. So there's so many people that, we've met, and we don't even live in the same city, states, same countries for
Right.
that matter. And, we try to pull ideas from everybody. And it's the team that works together is going to be here till the end, I think. So get with a good community and surround yourself with good people, and you can go nowhere but up. So, well, this was the list that
Yeah.
we came up with for like cheapest ways. And then for all of the impatient people in the world, which I know there's a lot of us, this is the list. Let me see if I can pull this one up. So if you want to boost your earnings at ninja speed, now you can kind of change your strategy. So maybe you're a little bit more experienced player, you have a little bit more funds available in the game. Go out and buy 6 properties on the secondary. Some people might be able to do this in one day. Some people, it might take them a little bit longer. You can go and mint 3 properties. So, and the difference in these two, like two methods, is the basically, if you're buying props on the secondary, that would be a rebuy. So this is a property that's owned by somebody and you're going in and you're repurchasing it at whichever price they have it. And then the minted ones are going to be properties that basically have never been purchased before. They're brand new properties. You go out and you just buy them. So they're minted properties, they're brand new. And then the visit the 5 cities that stayed on this list, because that's something you could do relatively quick. Treasure hunting and 5 races. Again, that's something you could do relatively quick too. So some of these stayed the same, but if you wanted to accelerate and you wanted to go out and buy the properties and go Abdullah, that's like the Abdullah route, just go out and buy it. You can do that, if you've got the funds. So everybody plays, with a different pocketbook and, means in the game. So the bigger you get, the more upics you have, then the more you can do a little bit quicker. And that again goes back to the gamification side of it. So everybody that's in this chat for the most part, and most of the people that we deal with in our Discord, these guys have all been grinding, so they can do a lot of this stuff. If you're a new player, you just got to get to that level. And that's again, part of the game. That's part of the game. So.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And let's see, what's Laban saying here? Let's do a visit raid, send fast or send fest on active new players. Yeah, and we have done something like this before at times. So I'm all up for that, to give a newer player, an opportunity. And then, one thing, thinking back to like when I started, I didn't have a home address because I didn't have a building built. So that took a little bit, to even be able to do that. So again, that goes back to the community. And I remember not having enough spark. So my big holdup is I didn't have the spark to be able to build, to get the build started basically. So one of the things that we've done in the Discord in Hyde Park is we started a baby train, and this is for brand new players that don't have the ability to be able to build a structure because they don't have the spark. And what we did is we would sponsor them. So we would swap a property with them and we would start the build for them. And as a community, we would all put spark on it to get them their house built. Then we would swap the properties back. And now they have a home address in the community. So it helps to build your community numbers a little bit,
Wow, that's
one step at a
awesome.
time. But that's something that we initiated because we had people that wanted to build houses. They wanted to be in the community,
Yeah.
they wanted to have an address, but they didn't have the means or the spark to put it up. And every one of the people that we've done that with is still on our spark train. So it goes back to community. A little bit of teamwork goes a long way. And
Oh,
we're
yeah.
so fortunate, with the people that we're surrounded with in our community, and everybody really chips in to help out. And that's why we like to do so many of the different giveaways and stuff like that, because that it's just rewarding. And I really like that. We're all about community and working together. So I just noticed, Shak, we're reversed somehow. You got my name. I got
Yeah.
your name.
Yeah, it's really funny. I took a screenshot of it earlier
Awesome. We'll keep that
because
on there
I
for
might never
a
see that
technical
again.
blooper. So,
I get to be a ninja today.
oh man, that's too funny. If people start calling me Shak now, someone's going to get to Genesis week and think I'm Shak. You're
Make
going to
sure
be
you wear
SC
your
Kicker.
corset.
Oh gosh, I don't, I wouldn't even be able to fill one of those. Holy cow! There's no way. Oh. I look at those things and I've seen them pop up more and more ever since you guys started working with them and having them with what was who built the corsets, or who makes those?
Tosshead has his
Toss Head.
company called Corset Story in London,
Yeah.
and that's where I get the corsets. Yeah.
I saw that. I remember seeing that the first time, and I almost got like claustrophobic
Okay.
because I felt like it looked like it was like so tight it would squeeze the air out of me. It's like, and I know there's a lot
You
to
can lace
wearing
them up
those.
really. You can lace
It
them
looked
up
like it.
really tight. You
Yeah.
can, but I tend to leave them so that they're not as tight. You
So
know
you can
what's
breathe a little bit.
interesting? Corsets, you have to train your corsets. So when they first arrive, they have steel boning throughout them.
Mm-hmm.
And so you wear them a little bit each day, and the steel boning starts forming to your body. And so you train the corset, and it actually takes on the shape of your body eventually.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's called
Huh.
corset training.
Corset training.
Yeah,
So do you get to
it's a
train them to new
really
levels and they get to do better stuff? What happens once you get
yeah
them trained?
yeah. They start producing spark.
That'd be cool, huh? Let's see. Laban says, "Prove it." Oh, that's too funny. Oh man. Well, we've got so that covers like some of the new gamification. I know you've been playing a little bit of Spark Tycoon, right?
Yes, I'm obsessed with Spark Tycoon. I
I
am so
absolutely love it. I'm hooked.
I love it so much. What I love is that everything works together.
Yeah.
Um, it got me back into treasure hunting, and so I'm earning tons of epics and spark through the treasure hunting. And then I'm also being rewarded by loot boxes at the same time
Hmm.
and building up my nodes, which are creating resources that I could turn around and sell for even more epics.
Yep.
Like, it's mind blowing. I love it. I'm going to build another windmill today, which will give me, that will make 17 windmills.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
I didn't get to, I think I built one yesterday and then I haven't built anything else. I got to get on that today before I start teaching. But I looked at my balance this morning and I had, I think, 250 energy and over 480, I think, of the lumber and a little bit less of the
Wow.
ore. So I'm going to try to get some more nodes built up today. I'm kind of torn because it's like there's all this new stuff coming out. You know, they're doing all these really cool updates, and I'm like, well, I want to have a little bit of resources because what's going to come out next is going to be something I need the resources for. So that's like the saving side, you know. So I'm afraid to let it
Okay.
go because I know a lot of people are like selling their resources, which I've done a little bit of that. I've sold some of my energy resources to build up a little bit of UPIX. But then, you know, what happens if you need it? You know, the prices are going to go up, right? If you got to buy it. So, because as the
Right, right.
resources are more needed, then, you know, prices go up. So
Well,
for
that's
the
a good point.
tycoon,
I had not thought about saving up for future things. I kept wanting to reinvest because, if you get more lumber mills, then you're producing more lumber. So I
right?
didn't want to keep my resources, but you bring up a good point. Maybe some should be saved for later. I did get my research facility and I
Oh, you
just
did?
produced my first research schematic. So I'm really trying to catch up because you guys got a head start. And so I feel like I'm playing catch up right now, but I'm
Well, like we
absolutely
said, you
obsessed.
can't do everything, right? So you fall
Yeah, but
behind in
this
one
is,
area, but you're way ahead in others.
yeah, but this one, you've got to be doing Tycoon. And I didn't know that. That's why I slept on it for the first couple of weeks.
Hmm.
This isn't one to sleep on, in my opinion.
I 100% agree. You know, one thing that attracted me right away is when I went into the Discord, because I watch all the Discords to see what's going on. And Stosh and his team were on top of everything. If like someone had a question, they were on
Hmm.
it. And there's been a lot of Discords for other games, and I'm not going to call out games because there's a lot of different ones. But one of the games that I was looking at playing, the person that was running the game never got back to anybody. I had a question about it. I put a question out and nothing. I didn't hear boo. I still haven't got a reply from that question that I asked a long time ago. So I, that was the one thing I really liked is that they're on top of stuff. They're making changes. They're making improvements. They're involved with the community. So they're taking that feedback and making the game better. And part of building a good game is, you know, trying to cater to like the people that want to play that game, the people that are interested. And
Yeah.
the more you cater to them, you know, the better it is. I know in my industry, I'm in a completely different industry with martial arts. And I know if I've got someone that is coming in and wants to do self defense lessons, and you know, I'm teaching ballet, well, I'm not catering to what my customers want, right? So it's not going to
Right.
go too far. So I feel like obviously as a game owner, experience owner, you know, whatever it is, you have to have kind of a set path that you're on. And then based on that path, you attract, you know, the people that are genuinely interested in that. And then the other ones that are not interested in it in any way, shape or form are going to, you know, go somewhere else. But at some point, you do have to listen to the community a little bit within reason. And you can't take every bit of advice and change everything, just because somebody asked for it. But definitely look at that information, and see, hey, is there a way I could take that idea and implement it to make it good for everybody that's playing the game, including, the people that are creating the game? And I think that's super important to listen to your community.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with how available Stosh is to the community, and I'm also impressed that he has what, 3 full-time developers?
Yes, he does.
That's amazing. And it brings up a question though, the arcade games. I haven't
Mhm.
looked into that. What are you doing the arcade games, and what should I know about those?
So the arcade games, I think a lot of those, I don't know if all of them, but a majority of them, I think were built by Alan C.
Oh,
Keo knows a
the
little bit more
Supics?
about that. Yeah, I believe
Okay.
he's kind of built a lot of that. And I, I played one or two of them. I kind of messed with them a little bit. Just because of lack of time, I haven't had a lot of time to dive in and play with any of that stuff.
Do you know
But
how does it tie in to Tycoon? And if so, how?
it does. So when we get our loot boxes, you know how we earn like lumber, ore, and energy. Well,
Mm-hmm.
you also earn gold tokens, gold like coins, and those coins can be used to play the games, is my understanding. So if you go into your account, you should be able to see gold tokens, or coins they're called, and you should be accumulating those through loot boxes, I believe.
Oh, really? I've never seen that before.
And again, I'm not as educated on those. I know KO has messed with the games a little bit more than I have, so I could be completely off, but that was my understanding, is that's kind of the way it worked. And then
Okay, so
for
yeah, I don't see a gold coin section.
is it
Hmm.
under, let me see, I don't have my computer up here. Let me see if I can find, or if somebody in chat knows where that is. Spark Tycoon.
Oh, okay. If you go to games, if you under arcade, if you go to
Arcade,
games,
there it is.
it shows me that I have 605 tokens.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
And I don't know if you get them in every loot box or if it's, just certain ones. I've only used a few because I played a few games, and I think I've got like 1,350 roughly. And it looks like most
Have
of the
you?
games cost 1 token to play. So, I mean, that's a lot of
Yeah.
games. You could actually play a lot of games.
So if you play the arcade games, do you earn more like resources to use in Spark Tycoon?
That's a good question. I'm not sure what you earn, if you earn gold or if you, I believe there's leaderboards, because one of the games I did play, I was on, this was like when it first came out. I just kind of played around with it, and I was really low because I didn't know what I was doing. I'm wondering if one of the guys that we met in Vegas, what's his name? Not Umbrella Boy. Who's the guy that's on Too Stupid to Win show all the time in the back room with Dizzy?
Boulder Magic?
Boulder had been playing a lot of the games because he had some of the higher scores at the time I looked at it. He might be a good person to reach out to and ask. Maybe he's playing more of those games, but I'm not positive. So Caesar said Tycoon is Tycoon. It's a separate game. So even though they're like connected, I guess, by the tokens with the loot boxes, I guess the games are kind of separate. So I'm not positive.
Okay. So just to clarify, Caesar, if you do not play the arcade games, you are not missing anything on Tycoon. Like, right? You're not missing out on possible Tycoon resources by not playing the arcade.
I don't believe so, because I guess
Is,
technically the gold tokens maybe come from the loot boxes within layer one Upland. So they're
Right, so
not
it's one
connected.
directional. By
Okay,
playing
that makes
Tycoon,
sense.
you earn resources to play the arcade, but it's not the reverse direction, right? You play Tycoon to earn gold for the arcade, but playing in the arcade does not get you resources for Tycoon.
Yeah, Caesar says we're right on that, so we're
Okay,
understanding that the right way. So it's two
thank you,
completely different
Caesar.
things. I wasn't
Okay,
sure
good
because
to
I
know.
hadn't really been in the arcade too much. I've just been trying to keep up on all the other stuff with it. So, but they have had some
Okay.
really good changes. The biggest one was the loot boxes were reduced to 40, which they said it was going to get reduced. Um, I think, I think the minimum is going to be 30. I think it'll reduce down to 30. So probably next week. So we have 1 week
Hmm.
at the 40 loot boxes per day, and then it'll drop to 30. And I believe it's going to stay there. I'm not positive, but that's initially what I had seen in the Discord. They do have achievements up. Have you seen the achievements?
Yeah, I collected my rewards, but I
Hmm.
don't know what those rewards were.
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I collected mine as well, but I don't know if I got something for it or if it was just that I collected them. And I don't know if those
Yeah,
are going to be done daily or if there's like a holding period of a week. I'm not positive how that works.
yeah,
Yeah,
same
so
here.
Caesar says playing Tycoon doesn't impact arcade and vice versa. Treasure hunting though impacts both of them.
Oh, that's
So that
a
that makes sense.
okay, okay. Thank you,
All right, thanks
Caesar.
for that, Caesar. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
I knew Caesar. I
all
knew
right.
someone in this Discord or in this stream would know. We have, like I said, we're so lucky. We have so many great players that have experienced the game in different ways. So we all kind of have our lanes that we're in.
Working with the community really is everything. I mean, that's how we know anything is by
Yep.
working with the community. It's it's the great thing about Upland. Check the item log.
Item log. What does that one do? Is that in the arcade
That's,
as well? Oh, nope.
do you mean
Item
the
log must
token
be
log?
in. Oh, so when you go onto the Spark Tycoon link, go to item log. Okay. And that shows like all the resources. Actually, that I knew.
How do you get gold? Where's the is that must be the token log under arcade that shows you where you get your gold?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Okay.
Well, I think with the loot boxes got reduced to 40. They do have achievements now. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. I know they do have a leaderboard. I haven't looked at it in about a week. I don't know where it gets posted. I did see it pop up in the Discord. Uh, Laban might know where that's picked up. I feel like he may have posted something a couple weeks ago, but I saw somebody had over 540 nodes, I believe, on that list.
Whoa.
That was crazy.
Wow. That means I've got some crazy catching up to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that was. I didn't recognize the name, but I don't think there's any
Wow.
way I'm catching that person. So I don't even know if I'm in the top five. I was in the top 5 or 4 at one point, and then a couple people just took off, so I could be in the lower 10 now. And then they have some new arcade games were put in there. And then the arcade games, there was a few of the games that had some bugs and they were reported to Stosh and the team. And man, they were on it. They got those updates done right away. And I know
Wow.
Spark Tycoon was down just a little bit over the one night and everything was fixed. And it seems like every time they do an update, there's definitely a seeable change. When you go in and see the dashboard will look a little bit different. And
Yeah.
there's definitely good modifications, positive ones made so far from what I've seen. So again, that goes
Oh
back to the
yeah.
team. And, like you said, he's got some developers. He's got 3 developers, I think, or whatever it is I saw in Discord. And that's great. He's being proactive, so that he can keep up on it because you could be the best developer in the world from what I've seen, but if there's only one of you, you can only do so much. and you do
Hmm.
need a team to do that. So, and I think that's pretty true of any business really. If you're running a large scale business or you want to build something big, you can never do it alone. I know with what I do in my industry, if I was the only teacher at my academy, there's no way I can do it. It really does take a team, and you
Right.
build the team as you grow. So that's part of it. That's
Yeah.
where the leadership part
Yeah.
comes in. So, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm super impressed with Tycoon. I like the idea of multiple streams of revenue in Upland, and like Tycoon just it bridges the I, I, I really, my mind is just so blown how it bridges the Upland platform with treasure hunting and with a layer 2 game. Like it's, I'm thrilled.
100%. There is really so many different things, and the more time you have, the more you can do, I guess. It's just, but again, there's going to be so much coming. Who knows what else is going to be coming? And there's going to be more stuff that's really cool to do, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to Vegas to see what comes out. I don't know if they could bring out too much more stuff this year. It doesn't seem like. I think they're, just making it a point to try to kind of perfect the things that they already had in the roadmap and making those things better and more accessible to players.
So I feel like we're going to be seeing private transportation coming actually quite soon. And Dawn dropped the hint that with private transportation coming, we might see other types of vehicles,
Hmm.
which made me think of boats and airplanes and helicopters. Um, they said that the Sparklet, the back end work on Sparklet is pretty much done. So I'm very curious when we might have that list on an exchange. Um, and then we've got Danny Brown Wolf talking about the indoor experiences. So we have cafes coming very soon, which will be the first indoor experience with more to follow. And we've got, with Sparklet, we have the ability to spend Spark to make legits, and legits will serve as indoor decor. And I really feel like we're going to be seeing all of this sometime this year. And if I had to guess, I would guess before or by Genesis Week.
Hmm.
And that's not because I know anything. It's just that's my guess. That's the feeling I get from listening to the team.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It
So
was interesting with all the Ethereum stuff that came out too. I do like that bridge. I've seen a lot of different things in chat and all the different discords, and some people thought it was a little bit more of a money grab. It is. Again, they have to make money, and the one thing I liked, because I actually didn't connect my MetaMask, but I don't even know how to use my MetaMask. Just being transparent and honest, I'm just not good with that stuff. And I'm very pro crypto. I just don't like the technology yet, so I just don't use it. But
yeah.
with the cryptos, I think the big thing is that it's bringing more people into the market. And as a whole, that's really what we want. So if we're developing stuff, the more people that see whatever we're developing, the better. It's the more eyes on us. So, if we, as
Yes.
community leaders and those of us that are here first, actively building the communities and building different projects, the better job we do, the more fun all of these new people that are coming in are going to have, and then they're going to stick around for a community and, whatever they have to play. And I think
Yeah.
that some of that responsibility is on us. It's definitely on Upland because it's their company, but it's definitely on us as creators too, if we're going to drive different projects.
Oh, absolutely. And really, it's to me, it's also on the entire community to be positive and speak positively about Upland and show enthusiasm and excitement for what Upland is building and where it's going. Because, you see a few people get very negative and kind of, nasty and disheartening in the things that they say, and they're going to drive new users away, if potentially. So, if there's a positive way to see something and a negative way to see something, I would probably recommend that you keep the negative possibility to yourself. And if you're going to be in Upland and playing Upland, then help spread the positive potential, the positive vision of what Upland can be, so that new players are excited and can be excited with us. Because let's face it, anybody that is here is excited about the possibilities. So I don't see any reason to broadcast your fears. But that's just me. But I think we have a responsibility as the community to help others see what we're excited about, so that they can be excited too.
I
That's what
100%
got
agree.
me. That's what got me pulled into Upland initially, was that I listened to other people and their dreams and their visions and their excitements, and this is what we want to build, and someday this is going to be huge. And they helped me get the vision for the first time, because I had just entered crypto. It was my first experience with Metaverse, right? And so I didn't have an opinion formed, and it was listening to the excitement of others that helped me realize the vision. So I think that's a really important role that we have as the community, is to share the great vision.
Yeah, Jimmy Jester says, "Don't bite the hand that feeds you." Yeah, 100%. And
Exactly.
in life, whether it's metaverse projects like we're talking about now, or if it's regular businesses in real life, grocery store, movie theater, whatever it is, I think there's two things that drive people away. One is if they're seeing bad comments, they're thinking it's just a crap product or a project. And the other thing is sometimes they might like the project or the concept, we'll say, but they don't want to be around negative people that, whine and complain all the time. And I know
Right.
if I'm around people that like whine and complain all the time, I quickly divert and go elsewhere, because I just don't want to
Right.
be around it, because the negativity just breeds more negativity. So, and I think it's super important. And I can't remember, I just had this discussion with someone within one of the communities, but I think it's very important for all of us to have our own point of views, and there's going to be differences. I know the way I think about something might be completely different from the way that you think about something, but at least if we can talk through those differences, and I understand your perspective and why you're saying it, and vice versa. I think there's important things on both paths. They're just different, because we're all different that way. We look at things different, based on
Mm-hmm.
backgrounds or whatever. So, but don't be out there, just whining and complaining, and because that there's actually channels. I'm not going to mention names, but there was a channel I used to follow pretty avidly when I first got into Upland, and the person was started out pretty positive, and then it's like every stream I went on, it was negative, negative, negative,
Mm-hmm.
and I just disconnected from it, because I just didn't want to hear it, because you get clouded with that negativity, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all you think about, rather than thinking about, where we're going, staying on that path. And I think that's so important.
I agree with you. Um, I listened to Dirk's interview with the Metaverse Street Journal recently, and I listened really carefully and took notes, because sometimes it's easy to miss some of the nuances, especially with the German accent, and you don't. But if you listen and write it down, at least this is the way my brain works. So I transcribe the interview, and the words really start going into my brain, and I start realizing what was just said. And I thought it was really interesting to hear Dirk say that they're following the original vision. They have not pivoted, and that this Upland is in the future going to be a AAA game, and that he said from the beginning that it would take, until 2027, 2028 or so, maybe 2030, for the entire thing to be realized, that we aren't there yet. We're still building, we're still early. Even today in 2024, we're still early. And he's always said, don't expect this to be completed by 2024 or 2025, because it's going to take longer. So we are all early. And I think what Upland is building is amazing. And we've got to stick through the growing pains and difficult parts, because it's not easy to build a game of this magnitude. So I see no reason to be negative about the fact that we have the opportunity and privilege of building together through these early years. Together, we're building something great, and I'm excited.
And you're spot on. And to your point, if just to give you an understanding of how much we're in the infancy, for anybody on here, how many times have you gone and talked to somebody at a gathering, whether it be a family thing with friends, and you mentioned the word metaverse, and it's like they have no idea what you're talking about. Some people are just, they're like, what are you talking about? And then, you have your other group that they're like this because a lot of people hear metaverse, right? And right away they think of Facebook, and think about how
Right,
many people do not like Facebook. And,
right,
when Facebook went through their phase of calling it Meta, immediately everybody associates metaverse with Meta, the platform originally.
right.
So,
Yeah,
but people just don't know, and they got to educate themselves, and it's our job too to help educate people,
yeah,
because when we came in, we knew nothing about metaverse.
right,
When I heard metaverse the first time, I actually thought it was putting the goggles on, putting the
right.
VR goggles on, and that's not my cup of tea. I don't want to wear goggles all day, and I don't think I could do that. My son does it, and he plays golf games and different things, and
Hmm.
that's I'm not your guy for that. So if that's what I thought metaverse was, I would have never ever got involved in it. And we got in through cryptos and stuff, and really excited about it. And I think there's going to be so many different avenues that the metaverse goes into. And again, just like with Upland, you're going to stay in the lane that you want to be in and do the things that you want to. If you want to get into VR games, you can do it. There's going to be augmented reality stuff coming out. So, who knows what's going to come in the future. And it is so new. And I know when we looked at starting to build our Hyde Park Ninja experience, we said this whole thing with Upland, what we're building in layer two, this is a 5 to 10 year project. You know,
Right.
if it happens early, I feel like things within the metaverse kind of got accelerated a little bit with COVID in the times, because people are more
Hmm.
online and getting used to this kind of interaction with cameras and Zoom and stuff. And
Yeah,
it's I think that accelerated it a little bit, but I'm still thinking, 5 years. I would say 3 at the earliest that people really start to understand it, because most people just don't understand what metaverse is. Most people that you
right.
talk about crypto to, they have no idea. I was at a party. The person I was talking to was a little bit crazy, but I was at this party, and this one individual that was at this party, he mentioned the word cryptocurrency, and nobody there knew about it except for me. And I was, just sitting, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. This person knows a little bit about crypto. They understand it. I can talk to this person, educatedly about it. And I actually knew a lot more about cryptos than this person did. He had just kind of found out about it, but got excited. He's been investing in some stuff. And, it was really cool to run into somebody like that, because you're kind of speaking the same language in a sense.
Yeah,
But think about how many
yeah.
people in everyday's life, just regular everyday interactions that we run into, and no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is really early, but I feel like we're on the cusp, right? With the
Oh,
Bitcoin
100%.
ETF getting approved, and um, I mean, Fidelity. Fidelity is now recommending for a conservative portfolio that like 1% of it be Bitcoin. Crypto is now becoming the financial staple that we all knew it needs to be, it's happening. And so with groups like Fidelity being on board, it is just a matter of time before it becomes mainstream. It's going mainstream. We're not there yet. And I wanted to mention the MetaMask connection with Upland, which I'm just super excited about. It prompted me to use my MetaMask. It also prompted me to finally take some crypto out of cold storage, which I've been afraid of doing because I didn't know how. I moved it all into cold storage, self-custody, and I didn't know for sure that I knew how to go the other direction. And so because of Upland, I had the experience of making it go the other direction, pulling Ethereum off of my ledger and moving it into MetaMask, and then purchasing with it in Upland. And honestly, it felt so good. And I felt like the Upland had helped me take a step forward and get through a spot where I had felt kind of personally stuck. So it's just really exciting. And about the Ethereum bundles that I bought, I came out, in my opinion, I came out ahead. My properties were worth, almost 100,000 more than what my Ethereum was worth. Plus, I got the Spark. And I got some really cool properties. I'm happy. Definitely, there was a gambling angle to it, right? You were hoping that maybe your number would get the landmark. But I actually know somebody who got a landmark.
Oh, awesome.
They saw 10 million epochs get dropped into their account, and so then they knew
Wow.
that they'd gotten something really good.
That's
So
amazing.
I thought it was fun and exciting. And if nothing else, it helped move the crypto space forward.
Yep. It's going to
Yeah.
attract a whole nother market, 100%.
Yeah.
I didn't partake in it, but I know KO said it was a very seamless transaction. You know, it was really easy to do. It wasn't clunky or anything. He had no issues with it. He said it was really smooth as far as
Mm-hmm.
getting everything connected. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
So
No,
do you
it
think
was
they're
a
going to
beautiful
do
thing.
future Ethereum contests like
Oh,
this?
yes.
Yeah, I'm sure they will.
Oh, yeah.
So, well,
Absolutely.
eventually it'll be integrated definitely into everything we do. I'm sure a lot of the cryptos, and some of them are already, you can put them into IRAs. I know through I think it's IRAtrust.com. I
Mm-hmm.
think they offer where you can put cryptos, certain cryptos into like your 401k type deals or into your IRAs, I think is the way that they work it. So don't quote me on that. Look at that. But I know that you can put Ethereum and Bitcoin, and there was a bunch of other coins too that you can include in there. And the great thing about having them within an IRA is that you can move them, I think, from coin to coin is what I heard. And there's no taxable, it's not a taxable transaction because it's within your IRA, which is really cool because
Oh, nice.
with the regular wallets, if you start transferring stuff around, it's a taxable event every time you do it. So having it in that IRA makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, definitely.
So Caesar, we are actually not doing any racing today. We are going to be kicking that back into action on next Thursday. So no racing today, unfortunately. But however, I've got the spin wheel set up here for 5K Upix, and this was from last week. So I've got that already put together proactively. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. See if I can screen share this without breaking too much. There it is. Okay, so we have the spin wheel. We've got King Jensen, Shak, Swarley, Laban, Max Damon, and Invest with Steve. Invest with Steve. I will need to know your in-game name as well. I can't remember who that is. I can check with KO. He may as well. But So right now we're just going with Invest with Steve for the purpose of this spin wheel. And again, this is a 5K UpX prize. And this is from picking your winning team between San Fran and Casey. And this is just the first part of the giveaway. We have two other things that we're doing with this particular giveaway for the Super Bowl. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in the next stream. So let's get this wheel started. Here we go. All right. Good luck, everyone. All right. Round and round the ninja goes. Where he stops, nobody knows. Ooh, it's going to be close. And Swirly. All right, Swirly, you are the winner. Congrats. All right, one of the ninjas will reach out to you and get you your UpX. There we go. All right, congrats, Swirly, on your win. I know everybody had posted on the video last Thursday with the team that they thought would win and also the scores. So remember, if your score hits, it's 50,000 K prize. So if you get the right score, and also you got to have the right winner, the right team picked for the win, you guys will win 50K UpX. If there's multiple winners with the exact same score for some reason, it would be a split pot of the 50K. So if there were two people, it would be 25K each. And then we'll have one other, we're going to do the Wheel of Death as well. So we'll have more details coming up on that on Sunday. So we'll keep you guys posted on that. And I think that's it. Shak, who do you have? I probably don't need to ask this question, but who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
I picked San Francisco for your challenge. I'm also doing the Stadium Chasers Pick'em contest, and I do not know yet who I will pick because I don't pick based on my home team. I pick based on strategy for winning.
Yeah,
so
100%. Yeah, I saw Kansas City's getting the points, I believe, too, 2 points maybe. So I'm actually I think it's going to be like a 1 point game or something or close. Kansas City's got a little bit more experience in the Super Bowls. They got.
Is it being played in Kansas City?
Oh no, it's in Vegas. Yeah, the Super Bowl's
Oh,
in
it's in
Vegas this
Vegas.
year. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
it's
it's
always
not a
at
home
a
team advantage.
not at all, not at all.
Okay.
I think if you look at the teams, I honestly think San Francisco is the better of the two teams talent wise. Not that KC is not talented, they are, but I just think they've got a little edge. But there is a lot to be said for experience, and Kansas City has been there. They're comfortable there, so there's a lot to be said for that. And then there's the whole T Swizzle effect too that goes with it with Taylor Swift. So
yeah.
and apparently I'm one of the only people that didn't know she was called T Swizzle. So
I didn't know that. I had
that's
no
right.
idea.
Actually, you're on that. Yeah. So it'd be interesting. So all the hype around Taylor Swift, it's really crazy because she doesn't care about any of it. It's the media that hypes it up, and she's in the spotlight because of who she is, and the impact she's had on so many people with her music. And I actually like Taylor Swift. I know a lot of people do not like her for whatever reason, but I think she's a good musician. She's seems to be a fairly good role model. I haven't seen any crazy stuff, in the media and or heard of anything. And then she's also done a great job with, taking control of her music and the rights to it, where the record labels aren't getting everything. And there's a lot to be said for that too. So she's not, she's a very smart person, it seems like business wise. So I give her a lot of credit. And she stays on the go nonstop. It seems like she's always on the go, whether it's going to football games is what we see in the media. And, I think she was over maybe in Japan or something. I think I seen recently doing some kind of event. So, she was at the Grammys the other day. So she obviously stays very busy. So there's, a lot of work that goes into that for sure. So
she's an amazing person. I don't like get starstruck by people, and I don't really follow her, but she has my absolute full respect. She's an amazing, successful businesswoman and musician. I actually saw her in concert right after she got out of high school, and she was the opening act, and she was not known yet. Um, and she was my favorite part of that concert. She was so real and down to earth and really talented, bringing the music that she had composed in high school and performing it, and it was really impressive. And so it's been fun to watch her just explode.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I give her a lot of credit for all she's accomplished. And, she obviously started at a very young age and has done really, really well in staying with the times too,
Yes,
continually just getting better and, staying up on it also. I'm sure it's an unbelievable amount of pressure to have that kind of, everybody's watching you. You're in the spotlight all the time at such a young age. There's, that's a lot of pressure for sure. So Shak, I
absolutely.
got to ask you, are you a U2 fan?
A U2 fan?
U2, like the
Uh,
band U2?
yeah. Again, I mean, so I would say they're not at the very top of my list, but I absolutely love them. They were my favorite band for a while when I was a
Mhm.
junior in high school. And U2 is the first live concert I ever went to. I went and saw them perform in LA when I was, 17 or maybe 18.
Man,
Yeah,
that's awesome. I've
the
only seen them
Streets
once. I
with
seen
No
them
Name,
once. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they
They
have
had
some
such
great,
great music.
yes, yes.
The my wife has actually been to their concert. I don't know how many times. I don't even think I could count on four hands if I had four hands. And I've only been once, and I loved and enjoyed the show. And I did see they are performing in Vegas. Did you see that?
Oh, no, I
They're
didn't.
at, I think it's the Stratosphere or one of the casinos there.
Oh,
So
cool.
I I might have to put that on the to-do list for when we go to Genesis week. Take a day and go down to the Stratus.
Yeah.
Check that out. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Super cool.
Awesome. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Do you have any closing words?
Totems just are shutting down on their first cycle. It's been really awesome. And um, even after the penalties that I incurred, my 12 totems averaged a profit of about 1,000 protem each on average. It was actually somewhere less, somewhere more, but really great returns. And so, congratulations to everyone making it through the first totem cycle, and get ready for cycle two. And those are
Yep.
my closing words.
Do you have any left? Any totems left that are still in cycle?
Nope. My orange ones just spit out their last reward today while I was walking my dog. And after I collected it, they said that the cycle was over.
Oh, very
So my,
nice.
my 12 totems are done.
Fantastic. I've got I think I have one orange one that's still out there I didn't kill. He's probably finished today. I think he's done today. I gave him a feeding at like 5 or 6 this morning when I woke up, and I think that's going to be his last feeding though, and I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to cycle two because now we have all this experience and education. So hopefully cycle
Yes.
two will be even better, and we can strategically, definitely start them at more strategic times to make it easier. But overall,
Yeah.
my orange one that I kind of hated because it's takes a lot of maintenance actually did pretty good.
Mhm.
I think it made like
Awesome.
3 times what I spent, and my red ones did well. Purple ones I didn't do as good with. They still, I think, were in the profit, but they died early, so I lost some profits there for sure too. So,
Right. Right.
but we'll do better with the next one. A little bit more experience and a little bit more information out there. I know your guys' team did an unbelievable job with that at Creedmoor, and we're looking forward to cycle two. So,
Yep. Looking forward
well,
to it.
we'll be back for Sunday Fun Day for Super Bowl Sunday. So make sure you guys get ready for that. We'll have information. I believe it's going to be at 11 or 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So we'll have information in the Discord for that, and I'm sure we're going to do some cool giveaways. So congrats again today for the winner we had. That was, who won that one? Swarley. Swarley won that one. So congrats. We'll get your UPIX out to you. And don't forget, if you guys are up and around, catch the UPIX podcast tonight. We got Too Stupid to Win and TML. I'll be doing their Thursday night stream, so check that out. Don't forget to hit up Shak's channel. She's got the Shak Attack, and she's been putting out some really wonderful content. And I know every time I get to watch and listen, I always pick up something different that I didn't pick up anywhere else. So definitely hit up her stream and show her some love. So but I think that's going to be
Thanks,
it for
Ninja.
today. You're welcome. You're welcome. Keep up the good work. And we really appreciate all the support and everything that you do for the community as a whole. So it definitely doesn't
Thank
go
you.
unseen or unnoticed. So,
I
all right. Well,
appreciate
everybody
that. Thanks
have a
so
great
much.
day. I'm going to get to kicking in a few minutes here, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.